Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our candidate showcase for our elected candidates for the program year 2023-2024. As of today, I want to make everybody aware that one of our contestants for the position of Club Growth Director has withdrawn. So at this time, we have no contested positions, and there were no floor candidates that raised their hands between the time that the DLC cutoff was and today. So we are going to proceed with today's candidate showcase with everybody in the room. With that, I would like to introduce today's candidate showcase chair, Linda Ray.
Thank you, Mr. District Director. Welcome everyone to the candidate showcase, and those of you that are viewing on Zoom after the case on the district website, welcome to you as well. We miss you today. We're grateful that we have so many dedicated people, number one, to help put this event on today, but number two, that have stepped up to serve our district. Looking at the faces I see right now, I know we're in good hands for the coming year, and I expect that we will have a fabulous year in District 26. So thank you to all of you who are here, and I can't wait to hear your perspectives on your upcoming roles. For those that don't know, I guess JP has already said that there are no contested contests in this group of candidates. There are many division director positions available. And while you can't run from the floor as the rules are today, you had to have declared a few days ago, I'm willing to bet that Ann Hill would love to hear from you if you would like to fill one of the vacant divisions. And I also imagine that at least one of them, perhaps Northern, could be convinced for someone else to fill the Northern position, and she would move elsewhere if need be. So keep that in mind as you're watching this, because those of you that are watching, we wish we had our eyes on you and could bring you into service too. With that, we are going to get started. In the chat, you'll find the order of speaking for those that are here. I don't think the chat will show for those of you watching online after the fact. So we start with the district director and we go through to the division directors, and the division directors are in alphabetical order. So we will start with Marcia Wood, who will be interviewing the first two groups of candidates or group of candidates. So please help me welcome a very distinguished past district director, Marcia Wood.
Thank you, Linda. I would like to ask Ann Hill to answer the following questions, and I will repeat the questions. After I give it once, I will repeat the question. Before I ask the first question, Ann Hill, would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to the questions?
Straight to the questions, please.
What can Toastmasters do to get more members excited about being a part of the leadership process? What can Toastmasters do to get more members excited about being a part of the leadership process?
Thank you for that question. From my perspective, you have to find out what people are interested in, make it attractive to them to want to come into the process. And I think that they would then step up to the plate. For example, I talked to someone this weekend and he said, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to find you 2 area directors. I said, but what about you? Wouldn't you like to move forward? I also think that we need to look at the people who are wanting to accomplish their Distinguished Toastmaster Award. And that certainly is something that we have to keep in mind and appeal to them to encourage them to go forward.
Tell us about a time where you have led progressive change that was not widely embraced. Tell us about a time where you have led progressive change that was not widely embraced.
I'm not sure if this was progressive change, but it was certainly a shock to people's system, but had to be done. I was the chamber chairwoman in Lancaster, California. Our chamber was about to go under. Finance committee recommended that we replace the chief executive officer and one of the employees. And if we didn't, the chamber that was over 100 years old, 112 years old, would go under. So I had to accept their recommendation. Of course, I didn't do all this by myself. I invited all of the finance committee people in to a conference room along with the CEO, and then we had to let him go. So that was a change. And as a result, we brought in somebody new who was actually really good at bringing in new members for the chamber and putting it on the path to financial ground. In fact, we made a profit the next year with her in place.
When working with a group of peers, please describe your decision-making style. When working with a group of peers, please describe your decision-making style.
Well, I can tell you it's not me telling people what to do. I can't operate that way. I usually find out what they are interested in, present the case or the vision, and say, here's what I think, but I want to hear what you think also. In fact, I do listen to them first, and then I may contribute something. And we go forward as a group to make a decision. I really believe that, in fact, today that happened with our conference planning committee, where somebody came up with a really great phrase that I had to immediately write down and use for the conference. So I usually listen to what other people want, and then if it's for the good of the district and I have to make changes, then I will, but I tell people why we're doing that. Otherwise, I do listen to other people's opinion.
The district executive committee truly works as a cohesive unit. How will you react to those whose opinions are different than your own?
This is probably not in the governing documents, but I first pray about it. And then I move forward to say and discuss with them why things may not work out the way they want them to. And to the degree that I can help them achieve what they're looking for, then I do allow it, because I am not always right. I'm telling you that other people have wonderful ideas, and so I go ahead and do that. Could I go to a closing statement, please?
Yes.
Okay. I have been around the block a few hundred years, and I am really confident that I can bring really great results to the district for the next year. I've been an integral part of the district's success for the last 2 years. Toastmasters has given us this 64 hours of training. So I think that I'll be able to put that together along with my experience and
Next, I would like to bring up to the virtual stage, James Gable. Hello, James.
Good evening.
Would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to the questions?
Let's go straight to questions.
Please provide a specific example of when you developed a strategic plan and it was implemented successfully. Please provide a specific example of when you developed a strategic plan and it was implemented successfully.
Strategic plans and success, those are really two things that have got to go together. You have to gauge that success. Within my company about 5-6 years ago, I came into the organization from kind of a ground up perspective on the small projects team. And together we worked to build that strategic plan. How were we going to build the work? How are we going to build the team? And I was in charge of the field. So in implementing that, we had some strategic thoughts of how fast do we want to grow and what kind of people do we want within our organization. And our motto was we build people, which is just a perfect motto for today's time. So we developed this plan of kind of slow growth and then also prepared to grow as fast as we possibly could. And it did. Things took off because the product we were delivering was a great product. And with that, within that plan, we saw that growth where we went from 3 million the first year to 12 million the next year to 35 million the next year. Strategically, we were meeting our objectives with the people in place to do that work. So that was really just a fun way of growing a business with somebody else's money.
What is your plan to promote the organization to corporate leaders? And what is your plan to promote the organization to corporate leaders?
Corporate leaders, I come from a corporate club myself. So I have a lot of understanding of how corporate leadership works within an organization. For me, one thing that has helped, and I've shared this with several of our organizations through the couple of club growth meetings that we've had, which is to talk about tying goals. IRC goals is what we call them, but developmental goals to a Toastmaster goal. And what I've had a great opportunity within my own organization to do is help develop people's career paths through Toastmasters and developing their skills with the levels that happen through pathways and through their involvement in each of those levels. So really bringing in individual development has been the best thing for my organization. And when I've shared this with other corporations, they really liked that idea that you can tie in specific goals of development for their individuals.
What leadership skills and experience can you bring to the district? What leadership skills and experience can you bring to the district?
As a general superintendent with my organization, we're a general contractor. I have been able to work through all of the levels of leadership, from sweeping the floors, which is a level of leadership in my mind. People that sweep the floors, put away the chairs, clean up, those are all levels of leadership. And with that, I've been able to grow through all of those different levels to where I'm at right now, where I'm able to coach, mentor, teach, and guide people's career paths at my level that I'm at within my own organization. And that's what I love to do. It's my passion to do it. And that's what I want to apply and use with Toastmasters, is that ability to lead with a soft hand in direction, but also lead with strength and integrity.
Who was the most influential mentor in your journey to seeking a position in district leadership? Who was the most influential mentor in your journey to seeking a position in district leadership?
You know, it comes down to those area directors. Area directors are one of the most influential people that we have within our organization. Meredith Myers had a conversation with me. So I'm getting a little bit emotional. When you just ask, people respond. They're waiting for that.
How can we encourage members to speak up to address concerns about district leadership? How can we encourage members to speak up to address concerns about district leadership?
It's really about having an open forum, collaboration. It needs to be spoken. As long as people know that there's opportunity for that, then it's really about talking about it and putting it out there. And before I get the big red sign of death, I'd like to move to closing statements.
Yes.
As a student of speech, I have loved, and recently I was looking at the speech by JFK where he says, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." And that's what Toastmasters does for me.
Thank you. And I will return the virtual stage over to our next inquisitor, Alan Swartz.
Okay, thank you, Marcia. And I need to bring Ruth Prentice to the stage, the virtual stage. Is she there? All right, Ruth. You have an opening statement.
Let's go directly to the questions.
There. When working with a group of peers, describe your decision-making style.
It really depends on the situation, but generally, I use a collaborative style. And what I do is that generally, if it's an important decision, do a lot of research on it beforehand about the issue itself and talk to as many people as I can, people that will be impacted, either people in the case of, for instance, the example I think of is the contest this year. If the decision needed to be made, are we going to do a virtual only or a hybrid contest? Because in person was not an option that Toastmasters gave us. So you talk to different people, you talk to contestants, you talk to the area directors that are impacted by this. And I came to the conclusion that we should just do virtual, but that was not what the district decided. And that was just fine because you go along with it. And as it turns out, it was a lot of work, but the skills we gained, the wisdom from learning from others. So even though I do research and come up with an opinion, I want to remain curious and find out what other people want. And often you're surprised by how great the outcome is.
Okay,
Next
thank you.
question.
What are your plans to reach the district goals in membership and club growth over the program year? That's a hard question for you.
Actually, it's pretty easy. I can just carry on the leadership that has been taking charge this year. The previous club growth directors have really done a great job in setting up the situation so that we already start out the year with leads. I've been able to be mentored by the club growth director in the past on how to use a lead management system. We also can network through our clubs. Our district director, for instance, just is in the process of chartering a club at his company. So we have a lot of Toastmasters that belong to organizations and they can help increase the membership. This year, we have chartered 5 clubs. We have reinstated 3 clubs, and we have several other leads. So I think that's how if we're going to do this. I think one other secret to it is we need to give feedback to our members. Pathways has been a challenge for many members, and if people feel like they're progressing within their clubs, they will continue if they see the value.
Okay. And we've got maybe 30 seconds before you can do your closing statement. I'm kind of watching my clock. What's your plan to promote the organization to both corporate leaders and community organizations, organizers?
I've had a fair amount of experience with corporate clubs. There were 4 as an AD, area director. And then I was a mentor for BPX, which is also a corporate club. And this year, 2 of the clubs that we've chartered are corporate. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and it can look differently in different cases. For instance, a community club could go in and do a speechcraft in a corporate club with a couple of different goals. One could be that the corporate club then sees the value, the corporation sees the value and then decides to charter a club. Or you could have members join that community club that presented the speechcraft. There's a lot of overlap between Toastmasters and the roles in a corporation, a lot of the same skills that are needed to get promoted, and that can be applied then in the corporation. And so they help them see the value to this.
Okay.
I'd
And
like to go to my closing statement.
yeah, I'm going to tell you to.
Thank you. I am passionate about Toastmasters. And my objective this year is that everyone would want my job. Our leadership is going to shine. I first became interested in the club growth director role when somebody asked me to take that role. And that confidence in me has propelled me forward. I am grateful to the current leaders and past leaders who have placed confidence in me and allowed me to take on roles. As a club extension chair, I've been able to help charter the clubs, lead kickoff meetings, interview potential clubs and help reinstate. It's been just a terrific opportunity, and it would be an honor to serve as your club growth director. I ask for your vote. And again, my objective this year is that I want everyone to want my job.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. You finished early. Wow. And now I guess we go to Ann Kerr.
Actually, we go to me for the next round of questions.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome.
So now I would like to call up Ann Kerr, who has designated that she would like to be the candidate for the Northern Division. And she's got a beach in back of her. Put that together. So Ann, I'm excited that you want to be a division director. And my very first question is, give me an example of when you've inspired a group of Toastmasters to take action to serve our members.
Take action to serve our members. This year in my Titan Club, we have a great group of leaders. And it was interesting. One of the other two clubs sponsored an in-person meeting, and several of our members went to the in-person meeting, and it got them to see that there's more out there than our own club. And it's very rewarding to see their enthusiasm to move out and to do more things in the district. And it's just like slowly happening, but it's real interesting to see their enthusiasm to learn more about the bigger picture of Toastmasters than just staying in the same club all the time.
Thank you. The District Executive Committee truly works as a cohesive unit. How will you react to those whose opinions are different than your own? The District Executive Committee truly works as a cohesive unit. How will you react to those whose opinions are different than your own?
I will listen to their opinions and discuss it, and they're totally entitled to their own opinion, but try to work together to do the best for the whole group.
Great answer. I'm wondering about a time when you encountered a problem in your work or in your volunteer work and how you managed that problem.
So when I had a problem, it was, I was in a leadership position and had one coworker that she always seemed to, like how you want people to delegate. Well, she would like delegate from below. She was always trying to get me to do her work instead of doing it herself. So I just had to consistently remind her that that was not how things were supposed to happen.
All right. Do you think that there's lack of accountability with division directors? And if so, or if not even, what would you do to improve accountability with division directors?
We just have to have a like set of tasks that we're supposed to accomplish and give feedback to the district and the trio of how it's going with our division and how the area directors are cooperating and getting all their things done, the contests and the TLIs, and getting their presidents and vice presidents of education to participate in all the district happenings, events.
Great. Who was the most influential mentor in your journey to seeking a position in district leadership?
Two things. I was doing it because I'm working again towards a DTM in the pathways. And Ruth Prentice has been encouraging to ask me to step up to the division director.
Well, good for Ruth.
And now I'd like to go to closing statements. I would like to have your vote for the office of Northern Division Director. And I look forward to the help and cooperation from the District 26 trio, the other division directors, and hopefully all my enthusiastic area directors. I ask for your vote at this time. Thank you very much.
And next up, we'll go from the north to the south and call up Christina McCready from the Southern Division. Good afternoon.
Hello, Linda. I'm ready for the questions.
Good girl. Please provide a specific example of when you have inspired a group of Toastmasters to take action to serve our members.
I'm a member of the Peterson Toastmasters, and we are a military affiliated club. And we lose members frequently when they have to move away from the location. And our membership numbers have dropped significantly. And I've had experience with a speechcraft once now with the Colorado Springs Toastmasters. And I suggested to Peterson, let's try a speechcraft. Let's bring in some new members and have them love the speechcraft so much that they'll stay on and become regular club members. Luckily, we were able to retain about half of the speechcrafters. And I'm hoping, since the club has seen this as a success, that they're more willing to do it again in the future and hopefully bring in more members for our club.
The District Executive Committee truly works as a cohesive unit. How will you react to those whose opinions are different than your own? And if it's okay, I'm just going to read them once. And if you want me to read it again, let me know. That way you have more time.
Great, thank you. I would be surprised if anybody had the same opinion as me. I haven't found someone yet who does. It's to be expected. Everyone's got a different perspective of what they see, what's important, or where the emergency is. And I think it's important that we talk through it and help me understand what your perspective is. And if I can understand from your viewpoint, wow, now I'm on your team. Now I'm ready to help carry on your cause with you. And that's the hard part, is communicating with others. And that's why we're in this organization, to get better at our communication.
Tell us about a time when you encountered a problematic situation and how did you manage it?
Problematic situation. I think, honestly, the only problematic situations is when you're sending out those emails, hey, club dues are coming up. Are you going to continue your membership? And you hear nothing. It's that radio silence that is the most problematic. And I found that if I see them at a club meeting, it's easier to pull them aside. Hey, I was wondering if you're going to continue your membership. It's that personal effect that seems to give a better result. Emails are so easy to ignore. It's having that courage to get in front of somebody and, I just want to know if you've seen my email. Are you going to be continuing your membership? And it's those face-to-face interactions that seem to get the better reaction.
Many feel that division directors show a significant lack of accountability. Do you think that's true? And what would you do to improve it?
Oh, accountability it's an issue from the club level all the way through the district level. And I don't like the word accountability, because honestly, we only hold people accountable when they fail to meet the standard or they're failing to meet the line. Let's call it feedback. I am way open to feedback, especially from somebody I've already built a relationship with, because then I know their feedback is coming from a caring position. They're not trying to criticize me. They actually want to help me succeed in my position. Let's have feedback with those that we've built the relationships with. If you only see your area director or your division director once or twice a year, you don't want their feedback. But if you have a relationship with them, you're more open to that feedback. And that's what helps make you accountable for your position.
Beautiful. Who was the most influential mentor in your Toastmaster experience that encouraged you to seek this position?
Honestly, I'm influenced the most by our newest members, those who really seem to struggle with Toastmasters, and they're the ones who really want to learn and gain more from this experience. And that's why I want to take on a bigger role, is so I can benefit all of the members, especially the newer ones, to encourage them to reach new heights. If you don't mind, I'd like to go to my closing statement. Toastmasters is an organization that is here to help you strengthen your communication. But communication doesn't only happen in that 5 to 7 minute presentation at a club meeting. It happens before the meeting in those emails, reaching out to people. It happens during the meeting itself. There's so many opportunities to improve our communication, and being open to that feedback will help improve it as well. And honestly, I really look forward to building relationships with Southern.
Thank you, Christina, and everybody else. And you got your question answered quite well. This has been, for me, a great experience. I have heard some things that I think I've not heard before. I love that you're relationship oriented and really looking to serve the members, and I think the members are going to benefit. That's it for us today. I want to let you know that this is going to be online on both the conference site and the district site, and encourage people to come watch it, not just because you want them to hear how great you are, which I would tell them how great you are anytime just for you, but so that they learn a little bit more about what it involves to be a district leader. The more they understand, as Christina said, maybe the more support they want to give us. And I'm hoping by your leadership, as Christina says, we can all inspire more people to step up and have fun serving at the district level. It will change your life. Thank you all. And thank you to Karen McGrath, David Johnson, who are in the background, and to Marcia and Alan for being our inquisitors, as Marcia calls them, and to JP and Ann Hill for all your work in making sure that this turned out as well as it did. Have a great Sunday evening.
You do the same. And thank you, Linda, for you and your team. We appreciate it.